Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Feel Good Fridays. I'm Paulie.
I'm Bags.
And today we're going to talk about a particular level of leadership that we find truly important, and that is being visible. So Bags, why don't you walk us through why being visible as a leader is so important and impactful to any business?
Yeah, it kind of sounds silly to talk about, Paulie, being visible, right? Unless you're
Here I
a
am.
ghost. Yeah, right? Unless you're a ghost, you have to be visible. When we really think about it as a leader, sometimes you can get locked down so far into your daily agenda. Maybe your schedule's just booked, or you have meeting after meeting after meeting. And depending on what type of environment you're in, it's good to get away from that stuff and interact with your associates, right? Because again, the impact you can make as a leader by just going up to people and talking to them is inevitable. To you, it might be small, but to them, it actually shows that you care, right? Even during tough times, if you have to deliver a tough message, being invisible, not just sending an email, that's a key aspect of leadership, is being in front and leading the way. But more importantly, Paul, how can they do it? Like, what things do you think people can do to be visible in front of their frontline associates or anybody to really make that impact?
Yeah, saying being visible seems pretty simple, right? But actually, some leaders lock themselves up in the office for the entire day because, let's face it, as leaders, you get bogged down with the duties and the emails that you get and the conference calls that you have to be on, and before you know it, it's 5:30, everyone's left the building, and you're like, shoot, I didn't get a chance to connect with anyone. So one of the easiest things you can do is start every morning when you get to the office, good morning, right? Go around to each associate. Doesn't matter if they work in the warehouse or if they, work higher up than you. Just make it a point to say good morning to every one of your associates and get to know them on a personal level, so you can have that follow-up question of, how was their weekend and how was the camping trip, or, how was your show that, you performed at over the weekend, or how was the ball game? Did you see the Super Bowl? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And by asking those questions, it shows the associates that you truly care about them and that you're asking with intent and not just to ask, right? So I think that's one of the simplest things you can do. Say good morning, say good afternoon, good evening, or have a nice day. When you leave the office is important. And I think as you establish those relationships, those will just continue to grow.
Yeah, I think even too, sometimes when you get further up in leadership, the further distance it becomes to what people do on a day-to-day basis. If you're locked into all these things, people think you're in like this almighty castle up on the hill, and then no one can come approach you because there's a moat with sharks all around it, right? And I think sometimes too, think about yourself. If you have maybe a really big company and the CEO or the vice president comes in, how excited people get. Yeah. For them to just come and show up to their facility, people get kind of excited about that. So again, that visibility really can make an impact on the day-to-day operations of the business. So don't forget, those that you are watching in today, the higher up you get, don't forget you can still make an impact by just showing up and being a part with the people and just get to know them, So it's one of those things, I think it's easily said, but sometimes we forget to do it just because we get locked into the day-to-day business.
Yeah, that's a great point. And one of the things that is a benefit from doing that is when things and times get bad, the team rallies around you, right? Because they care about you as a person. And more so than a leader. So I think that's important. So Bags, why don't you tell us what we have in store for us next week?
Oh man, I don't want to jinx ourselves. We already did this once, so they say shame on you, shame on me the second time kind of deal. But we got a firm commitment on episode numero 10. I think it's 10 if I can remember my Spanish class from 8th grade.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, no, a long time ago. Getting old. But we should have a special guest with us, and he is committed to going over with us skip level meetings and why they're important in the business. This is actually something I just learned recently, and I actually felt like, wow. I was kind of doing it, but I didn't know there was actually a term utilized for it. So knock on wood, my friends, fingers crossed, whatever you want to do, toes, put a little lucky bunny here, but we should have our first guest for episode 10 next week. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
And look, if you missed any of our previous episodes, be sure to head to our YouTube channel by searching Feel Good Fridays podcast or Paulie and Bags. Please like and subscribe, show your support, and we want to hear from you. Please use the comments. Let us know how you are visible with your team or your leaders, because again, more knowledge is power, and we want to learn from you guys as well. So
100%.
With that being said, take care
and brush your hair.
Thank you for tuning in to Feel Good Fridays. If you want to stay up to date with our podcast releases and upcoming material, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. I'll wait. You didn't do it yet. Go ahead. I'm still waiting. Did you do it? Definitely check us out on our TikTok for special announcements and possible giveaways. Both can be found by searching at Feel Good Fridays Podcast. Thank you, and make it a great day.